Hello friends, good morning. If you have a cat at home, I'm sure you know, just like me, that it is a tremendously independent animal, that it does many things by itself, and that, unfortunately, without realizing it, sometimes we do things to it that are not good. In this video I am going to make you a collection of the 35 things that I consider that you should never do to your cat. Okay, well, I don't roll up more and here I tell you. The first thing you have to keep in mind is that when you take your cat out, because there are people who, here in Spain you see a lot lately that they take their cat out for a walk, to the street and so on, as if it were a dog. I don't think it's bad, I really don't think it's bad, but the cat, in general, is not so used to contact with the outside. You have to be especially careful, very careful, because it can get scared right away. And when it gets scared, the animal recognizes with greater difficulty than dogs, for example, imminent dangers such as cars, noises, etc., that are going to scare it, and it is quite easy for it to escape. It is highly dangerous to expose cats to the smoke of tobacco. This, which sometimes you are at home and if you are a smoker, you leave it in the corner, half lit, in an ashtray, it is very dangerous, it does not feel good, it has the smoke of tobacco for its respiratory tract, it has a highly irritating effect. And I'm not telling you anything, if by accident it bites, they don't do it as often as dogs, but it bites or even eats some tail and so on. Never throw your cat, don't throw it, don't throw it. The fact that cats have 7 lives, that's not true. I'm telling you, it doesn't have 7 lives. And there are people who do it, thinking that the cat is funny, and it is true that many times they are not hurt because they have a very high elasticity, but it damages them psychologically a lot, it makes them tremendously fearful animals, and it will scare you. It is of no use for you to scream at your cat. No, there are people who catch them and scream at them. No, the only thing the cat is going to do is scare you. What you have to do is, 1. Force or stimulate positive reinforcement, that is, reward it when it does the right behavior, or if it behaves badly, let's say almost intentionally, to get your attention, which is the main cause in most cases, ignore it. You will begin to see that it doesn't do so much. Very important, never leave the abandoned cat in an area. If you have to go home, there is no problem with the cat's house, but always leave a light source, let it see a light source or something that illuminates it. Although they have very good night vision, feeling in a completely dark room alters them a lot. Then, well, you will tell me to take it home, but it is true, at least take it to the vet once a year. It is important, especially if you live in cities, because there is a lot of habit, and here in Spain, more and more, there are many street cat colonies, and these cat colonies are transmitters of many diseases that will affect the domestic cat, the cat you have at home. Do not prevent your cat from having access to visualize the outside world. It is very important that when you leave home, do not leave the windows with the curtains down, always leave a window so that the cat can peek, it is something they need. They are tremendously curious, and they love to see what happens outside. The character of a cat that has access to see the outside world changes a lot from a cat that does not have that access. Always avoid that if you have more than one cat, they share the same sandbox. It is not convenient, each cat must have its point where it is going to do its needs, where it defecates, urinates, and so on. It is something that reinforces them a lot, the cat needs its independence, and it does not like to share the sandbox with anyone, really. We do not like it very much, so they almost do not. Never corner a cat in a corner of the house, when you want to take it and so on, for whatever reason, do not corner it. If the animal sees that it does not have a place to escape, the most normal thing, on many occasions, is that it becomes aggressive, even against you. And that is where the problems of scratches and bites often come from. Do not practice, do not do the operation of stripping the nails. This is not good, this hurts the cat's gums a lot, it is not convenient. Another thing is that you cut the tip of the nails using the light of a light flex, and that you keep them a little filed and so on. But stripping is never recommended, at least from my point of view. I know that there are colleagues who say the opposite, it does not seem optimal to me. If, for example, you are cooking in the kitchen and the cat goes up to the table to see what you are doing, to the stone and so on, do not hit it or push it away abruptly. Do something that catches its attention, that directs it to another point, and in any case, take it to that point. Never use abruptness, because the animal is tremendously curious, it is not doing it to offend you. It is very important, especially in the cat, that its drinking bowl is tremendously clean. For this, the cat is very picky. As soon as it detects that the water has a slight smell or aroma that it sees that it does not, it often stops drinking. And it is simply that the water may have been in the drinking bowl for 2 days, you have to change it. And that it has direct access to clean water. Never give a lot of food to the cat. The cat, especially more and more, we are seeing the tendency to feline obesity. It is a very serious problem, very, very serious. Because the cat is at home, it does not exercise, it does not relate, and it is fed up. It is fed up and we find it funny to see it eat, and we do not know how to control the cat's diet. Many diseases, from joint problems to metabolic problems, such as diabetes, are going to be related to a poor diet. In many situations, I recommend that it is good, around 5 months, to avoid marked and indiscriminate urine problems, because castration. If you have to do it, always do it at 5 months. Neither before, because it cannot be done, nor after. Another problem, and another thing that I do recommend you do, especially here in Spain, due to the excessive number of feline colonies, is that there are more and more serious diseases in cats that live in an apartment and so on. Diseases that require a very, very expensive veterinary treatment. The cat is a very expensive animal to treat, much more expensive than the dog. Therefore, it is advisable that, if you can afford it, you hire insurance. They are not very expensive. It is also very convenient that you do not ignore the problem of hairballs. And to prevent it, it is very simple, it is very cheap, because hairballs, due to the gesture that cats have on the table, are easily formed, and then they generate serious intestinal problems, constipation, and other series of pathologies. When the prevention is that 1 or 2 times a week you put a little Malta on the paw, that you go licking it, and that oil makes the intestinal tract not be obstructed by those hairballs that are formed and that are spoiled. It is essential. The cat is a very clean animal. Therefore, it requires that you have an exhaustive control of the sandbox. You have to clean the sandbox as soon as you see 2 or 3 poop, no more, even less. A way to facilitate what we see more and more often of cat loss is that, at least, you put the chip on it. Here in Spain it is mandatory, in other countries it is not so much, but it is a good way that, at least, if it is lost and someone recovers it, and brings the chip, saying that it has a microchip, then the person who reads it should know that you are the owner and that the cat's return is facilitated. Never pull or drag the cat, never pull its tail. Over time, it is an especially sensitive area in cats, and the nerves in that area, especially, are nerves that, with age, you will notice that many cats lose part of their tail or lose it entirely, because it is already a conflictive area. Therefore, if you drag or pull its tail, you aggravate the problem. Be very careful when your veterinarian prescribes a medicine. Never think that giving a little more will work better. The safety margins that most medications have in cats are very narrow. That is, the amount that works is an incredible amount. As soon as you go a little too far, it is tremendously toxic. Just as we talk about dogs, it is essential that you maintain a good dental hygiene of your cat. Cats have more and more problems with fasciitis, inflammation of the gums and dental problems, basically due to lack of hygiene. The cat must also be brushed periodically, almost daily. The teeth. Make an effort to give it affection and attention. Cats need it, they need it a lot, as much as dogs. They need you to caress them, to pass their hand. Purring is nothing more than a sign of gratitude in most cases. I know it is very fashionable, but it is not good to dress cats, I mean to dress them excessively. In most cases, we see that the clothes are not quite suitable for the cat, they oppress it and, in short, they stress it. One thing that children do, especially as a joke, and that here in Spain lately is no longer seen, but until recently it was seen a lot, was to make the cat play with the laser pointers that chase it and so on. This creates serious anxiety problems in the cat. This of seeing an object that they want to hunt and cannot hunt it, creates a frustration that then gives brutal anxiety problems in cats. Anxiety problems that lead to stress and problems of loss of appetite, sadness, etc. Never scare the cats, don't scare them. Maybe the face they make is funny. The famous joke of putting a cucumber on them, because you know that the cucumber reminds the cat of a snake. This is something that many people do. Don't do it, it's not good, it stresses the animals a lot. Also be very careful when you go in the car if you take the cat. Unlike the dog, which is difficult for the dog to pass from the back of the car to the front, what the cat will do is pass to the area where you are driving and will want to get on top because it does not know what you are doing. And it can not only cause you a problem because it can cause you an accident, but the animal, when it sees that you do not attend it, it will think that you pass it. The animal always has to go, it is advisable, in its travel box. Do not stop paying attention to the body language of the cat. The cat tells us many things with its body, and it is important that you pay attention because I am sure that when you meet your cat you already know what it means. And it is important that if it is not obviously a whim or nonsense, you satisfy that desire or that which is asking you, because it is usually something that is needed. Another thing that I already tell you is that it is a whim or nonsense and that it is not convenient to raise it badly either, but most of the time it is usually something that it really needs. Do not play too much with the cat. I know it may seem like a contradiction. One thing is to play, but the animal often turns its hunting instinct into the game. It does not know how to differentiate it many times. And there will come a time when it may scratch you and you react in a somewhat abrupt way and it will get scared, it will get a little scared and it is not convenient. Play, yes, but without going too far. Never forget to trim the tip of the nails. This is very easy. You help yourself with a flex, you put the nail at the foot, you see how far the innervation and the blood vessel reach, which is perfectly visible, and you cut only the tip. This is good. Then he files them and so on with a razor, but it is good to cut the tip of the nails a little. Cats are carriers of many types of parasites, starting with fleas to internal parasites and so on. And the problem is that the treatment needs to be applied in a continuous way, not just once, but repeated. And it is important for these treatments to be effective that you apply them during the time indicated by the prospect. Do not skip because you will not get anything. You will also lose money. I have told you before that it is good to leave the cat close to a window so that it can see the outside. But be careful, although I have not told you, always close that window. The tendency that a cat has to leave the house to investigate is at the origin of most cat losses. Checked. If you notice that your cat has abnormal behaviors when going to do his needs, check it. The most normal thing is that his sandbox is full of poop and he doesn't like it anymore. Then clean it. The cat needs a lot of hygiene, a lot of cleaning. He is very pulchrive and he demands that you are also pulchrive with him, that you keep him clean. Be especially careful with your noises. The way or the habit that we have here in Spain of screaming so much in a normal way makes the cats very nervous. A cat is the ideal excuse not to scream in a house. Also, practice it. If you scream at the cat, or you usually scream, the cat is going to be a hysterical cat. On the other hand, if you modulate your voice, you speak in a more paused way, the cat is going to be much happier. Pay close attention to any change, no matter how small, that you find in the habits of your cat. From eating a little less, to sleeping a little more, to the fact that he seems to be a little more stunned. Most diseases that affect cats are very fast developing. So, if you don't give him a quick treatment, when you take him to the vet, it's usually too late, on many occasions. Therefore, we always ask that in any situation that catches your attention, if something catches your attention, don't wait any longer. Go to the clinic or the clinic that is closest to you. Don't forget to never brush your cat either. First, because they like it. And second, because it's very good for dragging dead hair, which is a cultivation broth for fungus infections, and to prevent the formation of hairballs. The cat licks himself, and if there is hair that is falling, and you haven't brushed it, he ingests it. And this hair forms balls that cause constipation. And constipation is something very frequent and common, and dangerous in cats. I just have to tell you that here I put a video with the 35 things you should never do to a dog, because I know that, apart from a cat, you also have a dog. And there are things that, without realizing it, we also do to dogs, things that are obviously not good. They are all in that video. Take care, and see you in the next videos. Bye.